So on April 13th, I filmed and posted a video because a few of my red maples and one of my American elms had become infected with a fungus. So what I did, now this tree is starting to come back. What I did for all of them is I completely defoliated them. This one I had to defoliate again, and you can see here it's starting to push out new leaves. So I'm hoping these leaves come out clean. So for all the trees that were infected and defoliated, they are now pushing out. Now this leaf here has a couple of spots on it, but for the most part all the leaves are healthy. Even this one, defoliated, starting to push out, but the leaves are coming out nice and healthy. This one here is pushing out new leaves. Those are new trees right there. Those are October glory. So for this tree here, I've had this one since 2019. And what I did for this, I just went ahead and I pruned it back down to its original structure. I basically cut this tree in half, and already, look, it's got a new leader starting to come out here, right at the top. Although I did leave the leader off to the left here. But all these leaves are brand new and clean. I even defoliated my sweet gum. Defoliated this one. It was really badly infected. Now one of the trees, I don't know if it survived, this smaller one here, but I'm gonna leave. I think it's dead, but I'm gonna just leave it in there for now. Because see, what I had planned for this one this year, I was gonna cut off the original stems, but I'm gonna have to wait now until after the growing season. But the American elm, I cut it back and defoliated it, and now it's already pushed out. All these leaves are brand new. All of them that were infected. And when I did the research, it said that the fungal infection would not kill the tree. Just the leaves just look horrible. Of course, the leaves are dead, and they're not really doing the tree any good. And I didn't want it to spread, so I cut them all off. You can even see here on the ground, you can see these leaves. They're all over the ground still, where I cut them off. I cut them off and threw them. They just look horrible. And already, just like that. Of course, this came at the same time when I was doing the summer fertilizing. Even this one. This is a, let's go around over here to where I have my silver maples. This silver maple I had to defoliate. It's already pushed out new leaves. I defoliated this one, but I haven't cut it back yet. This little forest I have here, I partially defoliated it. But this one, I pruned it back and defoliated it, and it's already pushing out new leaves, new young leaves. I can't wait for this forest to thicken up. I have 5 trees in here, although I don't know if this one in the back, because it got infected right here. it got infected, so I don't know if it's going to survive. I'm going to leave it for now because it still has color. What I've learned from these maple trees is they still have red color in them, just to leave them, because it typically means they're still alive. You can tell when they die because they just get black, dried out. But that's it so far. I mean, the trees are thin on leaves, on foliage, but they're rebounding. I mean, it's pretty odd because whatever this infection was, it didn't affect all of my plants. It's just some of them. My roses are struggling this year again. Bugs. But other than that, I can still visualize what I want my trees to look like. They're all young for the most part. None of them are over 3 years old. I started with my sweet gum and my red maple that I cut back in 2019. That right there, I'll show you this one. I've had this one since 2013. It was originally planted in the ground, very small, and I put this in a pot in 2019. I just repotted this one in February. I took an axe to its root ball. Root ball was massive. And now it's healthy. It's really in here. You see that? It's flourishing. This is a twin trunk red maple October Glory that I'm growing in this barrel. Young seedlings. And my cherry plum trees are doing good. And over here I have my little nursery. I had planned on getting rid of this system, but I'm glad I didn't. It's come in handy for replacing trees. Primarily what's growing in here are pine and red maple, October Glory. You just never know when trees die. I have backups, and these can stay in here for however long they need to. I didn't plant any of this. These are just seeds that fell in. So, in closing, if you are a person that can't afford to buy trees, let me show you something. This is a tote that I bought for $2 from Target. I filled it up with soil, rocks, whatever, and just set it here. And look at what's grown in it. These are not planted. These are seeds that just fell in from the sky. Same way over here with these two. I didn't plant any of these pine trees. And plant the maple. The pine tree is right here. The maple tree, you can't see it, but it's behind this ash right here. And this ash, you can tell it is flooded. It's got quadrillions of seeds on it. I don't want no ash tree, so. You can see this is a privet. I've air layered this privet, and I have cuttings of this privet right here. But in the back, right there, there's a maple tree seed that fell in. I'll show you the air layer on the privet that I have, and it does have roots on it. So here's the air layer. And you can see the roots. As Peter Chang said, they use something clear so you can see the roots going. This was a root that was growing, but I didn't wrap it all the way down, and it was growing up in here, but I ended up pulling this out. So I'm gonna let this go until it fills up more with roots, and then cut it. You can see this is massive trunk, but I'll have to cut all of this because it's pretty freaking big. I'm gonna probably cut it here originally when I get ready to pot it. Cut all that off, and then I'll have me a nice thick trunk for a privet bonsai. And after I did this, look at all this new growth that came out. That's where I got one of the cuttings. I took it from this new growth here. All right, so that's all I have for now. I'm pretty fortunate that I was able to clean up with minimal treatment. I cleaned up this fungus that had grown on my leaves. This one here, man, when I started treating this American elm, it was in horrific shape. The only problem now is I gotta find out what the hell is eating my leaves. That's it for now. Have a nice evening.